My name's Peter Fetterplace. I've been in the surf club here for 40 years, and the 2000 New Year was certainly a different year for all of us. I got early down here, early at 5 o'clock, because we got a warning from an evacuation that was happening at Mogo, and coming down in here we realised that this was bigger than we could ever have imagined by 9 o'clock in the morning. We've had a lot of animals and people coming from out of the woodwork of Mogo. It was the closest beach and access to for Bateman's Bay here at the Malua Bay beach. We also had a turn through Rosedale, which is our next over the hill here. It was in dire straits by about 10 o'clock. They lost many houses there, and most of the people came from Rosedale to here for protection and a sense of a life, really. They'd lost a lot, and by about 11:30 or so, things were looking, we started very early in the morning. We started making a register of people that were here. It wasn't a legal register, but we made a register here of everyone that was coming in, because there was so much, we could understand there was so much loss in the area. By about 11:30, you might see behind us here, the headland over here, a pretty point went up, and that's when we knew that the whole area here is in dire straits. So we're evacuating a lot of people from out of this area. We had a team here from another wonderful, there was 5 of us from the surf club, and at the time there was the George Bass surf boat marathon that was on, and we had a team that was staying here from South Australia, which were of great benefit and great help to us through the coming week. That was that we were part of the organisation here and support of people. So we lost another by about 11:30 or so. I don't get my times are a bit vivid during the bit confusing during the day, but then Silverton Street went up on us, and that was coming down the ridge down this way, so, and also coming down the ridge here. So the fires were impacting on us in a big way. So we had a lot of respiratory problems and difficulties. We had a lot of young children. We had a lot of elderly people that were in the surf club at that stage. And as the day was progressing, we were looking at about 12 o'clock, we had to evacuate the surf club. So that meant that bringing everyone out on the beach with horses, cats, dogs, every snakes, lizards, every sort of possible animal that was the creation could have called upon. So we've had our ducks and geese, and everything was down on the beach. So that was the time where we had to make decisions because of endangering with police. Here we only had one police car, and Anthony Billette was a hero unknowns to anyone. He was a young fellow who was able to keep everyone very calm. Everyone was very supportive, very caring towards each other, and in the time we couldn't leave this area. We were blocked from the road just here to the road just in front of us here. So this was our place of residence for 24 hours, and the fire continued through all our area behind here in that 24 hours. I guess the great support were of a community. That was the most wonderful support here, where our butchers, our IGA, we were downloaded with all the meats that we could possibly cook here at the surf club, which fed thousands of people. And I guess it's that support and caring of our elderly. A lot of people stayed that night in cars all around here, caravans, cars. At one stage during the day, just the fire came down from through behind the bocce club here, down through into the corner and down onto the beach. So that's how close it was and how dangerous it was to us. So we were moving people from the middle of the beach to this end of the beach, and from this end of the beach down to the middle of the beach. And that was with a group of about only 15 people, I guess, surf lifesavers. And I guess and the great support with community and people here. And I do truly thank the butcher shops and IGA and all our people that supported here. Abode wasn't finished at that stage, the building over here, our beautiful hotel, but the owners gave us the all down floor area of the abode, as it was just a work area. And we were able to make that into a makeshift bedding area, and it just continued. It just the great support, I guess, from people and the journey there. The population on the beach itself was about 1,500. That's at its peak. So during those times we had, we had times of where there were emergencies, where we were helping people out with oxygen difficulties, and we were able to take a number of those people through to the hospital with police escort there also. Yeah, there's some funny little things that happened along the journey. There was an old little man there that had his ducks, his chooks, his rabbits, and that was his life. That was his livelihood, and he'd lost all his house and seen that. I think that during that day we also were moving a lot of people with our RTV, our little buggies, but a lot of people were brought back in shock because of, as you go up Silverton Street here, you would just see it towards the club. The club had gone by this stage, and it was just working its way down the street. And the memories of myself there were the units going up. It was just devastating, and to see people devastated, or just their whole lives had been lost. I guess for many days as community, as we knew here, there wasn't any money. Money was hard to get out because of electricity, the food issue. We had a lot of shortage of power, and a lot of, as we really relied on neighbours and support and people here within our community.
And what's your message today for tourists who are still in the region? We're giving a very strong message for tourists to leave our shire. The reality is that there is a strong chance that we will lose power. We're very challenged by food. Our evacuation centres we want to keep for our residents.
I guess, I think that's. I'd like to truly thank my group of surf life-saving people, because they were very dedicated, not just for the 24 hours, but we were dedicated here for community for weeks to come afterwards. So we fed our community here for a week after, and then we also had a setup of all the material that was coming from goods and things that were coming from Sydney and places around Australia, and that were donated to us from many areas. So that we set that up as a centre here, and that went on for roughly about 2 weeks until we finally gave all our things back to the army in town. So I guess access and all those sorts of things were very crippling in our early days here at Malua Bay and Bateman's Bay, because for a week or so we were blocked from Sydney Way, or from Ulladulla, and we're also blocked from the bushfires in Cobargo. And so Bateman's Bay community really struggled for quite a week or so, because we never had access to things. And I know some of you here would be remembering those times where there wasn't cash, everything was cash. So you couldn't have, nothing worked as on a card, and I think you realise how important our card system and everything is, I think. But no, thank you very much, and I thank Lions for everything they're doing here, and accessing areas here, making this a a better park for us too, as surf life saving. Thank you.